in the Brooklyn area. Also, for those who remember when we had cheerleader not cheerleader, Nitro Girl, former Nitro Girl Spice, who's Dr. Melissa Grills Peterson. If you haven't voted, I think the voting is over. I'm not exactly sure. She generated over 12,000 votes, and they're going to start announcing the finalists this week. So hopefully she gets it. You know, us here at Hit the Ropes, we're pushing for her. We still have the link on the front page in the slideshow. You know, if I think the voting is over, but if it's not, I would encourage you to go and vote. I didn't vote today, so I will check to see if it's done, but just in case it's not done, I say you go check it out. Again, Dr. Melissa Grills Peterson, we want her to get her show. We, want everybody to achieve their dreams. Hopefully I can achieve my dreams of being a professional wrestler one day, or at least getting in one match. Maybe I can be a guest host or something. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But that's that. Nothing else really going on in professional wrestling. I'm not even sure when the pay-per-views are coming out. I believe that the TNA guys usually follow WWE. No. Next week is TNA's Victory Road. That's right, because I was planning on going. However, I can't because I'm going to be doing something else that weekend. But TNA's Victory Road is next week. And that's, we'll preview all the matches next Sunday, but currently you've got Motor City Machine Guns versus Beer Money for the tag team titles. Got Matt Morgan versus Hernandez in the steel cage match. Ric Flair versus Jay Lethal. Madison Rayne versus Angelina Love in the Knockouts title. Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson versus Abyss in the Fatal 4-Way. Doug Williams versus Brian Kendrick, Ultimate X and submission match for the X Division title. And Kurt Angle versus D'Angelo Dinero. Yeah, I don't know if there'll be any other matches added. That's 7 matches already. That's a pretty good card. I would have definitely went if I wasn't already doing something that weekend. But, I want to take this time since I'm here and go on to some non-wrestling things. Basketball. Joe Johnson is signing with the Atlanta Hawks for, 6 years, $119 million. That's a whole hell of a lot of money. Joe Johnson, he's a nice player. 28 years old. He's a pretty good player. But I don't think Joe Johnson is that $120 million number one guy. I think he's a 1B. He's not really a 1A, if you understand what I'm saying. He can be your number one guy, but I don't think you're the best if he is that number one. If you get somebody else, LeBron is a 1A. Dwayne Wade is a 1A. Joe Johnson, not really. So for him to get 119 million, it's, that's a lot of money that Atlanta's tying up with him, and this guy didn't even get them past the second round of the playoffs, and his production just fell off. So I'm hoping that they know what they're doing. I was kind of hoping that, Joe Johnson might go to the Knicks, who would get also Amari Stoudemire, and that seems to be the case. And that right there would be a pretty good pairing. You got an inside-outside game going. But good luck with the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know who else they're going to get. I don't think any of these other big names are going to be going to Atlanta. But they still have Josh Smith there. So, they're still a good team, and they're still pretty young and athletic. I just don't think that they'll probably get to the second round again next year. Whether or not they get out is something not to be seen yet. Then you have the big three in the Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, where these three could eventually end up being on the same team if a team was to be that lucky. If that lucky team could be the Heat, I would be ecstatic. But I don't think that's going to happen, and it might get to the point where the Heat just lose out on everything after they've pretty much gutted the roster for this free agency, and they could end up not getting anybody. Wade lives in Chicago. His kids are in Chicago, and he had a second meeting with the Bulls. And we've heard Wade continue to say that he wants to win and he wants to have a team around him that can win. And when you look at it, Chicago has a better team than any other team that's bidding for these three guys. Chicago has a playoff team already. You take LeBron off the Cavs, they're not playoff worthy. You take Dwayne off the Heat, they're not playoff worthy. You take Chris Bosh off the Raptors, you have him on the Raptors and they weren't playoff worthy. So the Bulls, they are playoff ready and they have the money. That's what's even crazier about this, that they have such great talent, and it pains me to say this because I'm not a Chicago Bulls fan ever since Jordan was there. And I was a Knicks fan back in the day, still cheer for the Knicks. But to have the possibility of the hometown boy re-signing, well, not re-signing, but signing with the Bulls, that's just going to kill the fans down here in Miami. And then perhaps not to get anybody at all, that's just going to be even worse. But LeBron is probably going to, they're all supposed to be making some kind of announcement sometime during the week, if not next. The signings can't officially be done until the 8th anyway, so there's pretty much no reason to rush. But if I could, I would love to have Wade re-sign with the Heat, and I'm not even going to think about LeBron because that's not going to happen. But if I can get Wade and Bosh, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that. If I can get Wade and David Lee, David Lee, I think, is pretty much on par with Amari Stoudemire, which is why I don't know why the Knicks wouldn't just get David Lee back. Amari Stoudemire had the injuries, and he's a couple years older than Lee. But Lee pretty much gives you the same stuff that Amari does, except Lee's a better rebounder. Maybe Amari's a more forceful scorer, and